Hey everybody, this is Nicky Muscle from MitigateStress.com. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to be covering a functional fat loss workout. And this is the workout that I was referring to in the last fat loss video. You can check that down below if you haven't checked it out already. And I just want to give a quick disclaimer. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how to move properly, I'm not going to go into too much detail with each and every movement and the cues and the tips and the tricks. This is why we have our paid course, because that covers all the framework, the fundamental movement concepts, and the foundation that you need to know in order to prevent injury with any workout plan. But that being said, I still wanted to give you guys a workout. Use your discernment, go at your own pace. If you feel any pain at any moment, you simply stop what you're doing, right? I did give you a proper warm-up. We're going to be doing some trigger points. I'm not going to do them with you because we have so many other trigger point videos, and I'm going to be refreshing our trigger point library very soon, so stay tuned. We're going to be doing some stick flow as well. Again, I'm not going to be covering that. I'm not going to be showing you that because I just did a stick flow video yesterday. And then standing activation drills, which I'll cover briefly. But then after that, we got four big movements that we're going to be covering. And you want total body movements because this is what's going to yield the most ROI, return on investment. You're going to save time, you're going to build muscle, and it's going to involve the lower and the upper body simultaneously every single time. But the trick is, how can we do a circuit that's going to minimize the potential risk for injury? And that's what my goal is to do for you guys today. So let's get started. The first scene you're going to do is obviously trigger point, 2 to 5 minutes each side with a softball on your abs, very deep. Always go deep to the bone. Breathing slowly and deeply. Anyone who says to not go deep with trigger pointing has no idea what they're talking about. The only way you can get any form of change with trigger pointing is going deep to the bone. That's where the change occurs. So trigger point the abs deeply, 2 to 5 minutes each side. Glutes, 2 to 5 minutes each side. And then if you want to do some extra trigger pointing, I'd highly recommend the hamstrings and the pecs, because we are going to be working that a little bit today. This should only take 8 to 16 minutes plus. You can go 30 minutes if you need. But this will help at least hydrate the fascia and prepare you for stick flow. I did a stick flow video last night, so I'm not going to run through that. You can simply watch that video, but you're going to be doing stick flow for 5 to 10 minutes. It's better to over warm up than to under warm up. Trust me on that. And then we're going to do standing activation for 2 to 3 minutes. I'm actually going to get started with you right now on standing activation. So it's been a while since I did a video on that. All we're going to do with this is make sure your feet, knees, and hips are internally rotated slightly or hip width apart, or neutral, straight, but just make sure that they're not out here, right? Standing as tall as we can, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna breathe in as we expand upwards. And we can play with this. We can also squeeze the ground out. It's called ground tension. We cover this very intensively in our paid course. Again, you can go check our website out if you want to go download that, buy it. You can also squeeze in. Now let's try that again. It's like active decompression. Now let's try some horizontal rotation, meaning like this. We're going to reach forward. Spend more time on the side that lacks rotation and mobility. Again, let's go up. You can do that for 2 to 3 minutes or more if you like. You should be feeling some nice blood flow, some ventilation. And now we're going to get started with the actual workout, assuming that you already did your trigger pointing. Don't skip that. And your stick flow at the very least. And if you want to, you can just go for a walk before this as well. You can punch on your walk, but you need some form of rotation and full body integration before you do any workout. Highly recommended. I can't stress that enough because this workout is somewhat intense, but again, I love it. Go at your own pace, use your own discernment. If you feel any pain at any point, stop what you're doing, go buy our course. We go through all the fundamental movement concepts and we're constantly updating that. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. It's not a big deal. support@mitigatestress.com or leave us a comment or DM us, direct message us on Instagram. Anyways, I got my dumbbell here. It's like 70 pounds or something, which is fairly light for me for this movement. This is a dumbbell alternating single arm snatch. So I like this movement a ton. It's total body movement. The main thing is we're doing a hinge. Whenever you do a hinge, you want to get over the weight, Not completely over it, but right about there. And we're going to push the butt back as if we're trying to touch the wall behind us, and that's going to activate and prime our hamstrings. We want to feel the stretch on the hamstrings with this movement, most importantly. It's very important that you feel the stretch on the hamstrings, not the lower back. Some people will have limited mobility, therefore you might need to raise this up on a pedestal or something. That's fine. But knees, feet, and hips are shoulder width apart, pointed straight forward. If anything, you could be slightly internally rotated to prime and stretch the glutes even more. But we're sitting and pushing the butt back as much as you possibly can. I'm feeling that stretch in my hamstrings. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate to reach down while maintaining that nice, straight, flat, level back. You can round your upper back slightly if you want, that's fine, but rotate. And what we're gonna do is keep it at about 90-degree angle or slightly 45-degree angle. And we're gonna take this weight and we're gonna hinge, use our hamstrings as if we're like curling in the ground, right? Like a curl machine, literally. And we're gonna use that to stand up as tall as we possibly can. I'm glad I looked up because I would have hit the fan. And we're just going to stand as tall as we possibly can. So the entire posterior chain is going to be working like a traditional snatch, but there's single arm snatch. It's rotational. There's a lot more core involved, obliques. Come over here. And again, sit back. Boom, boom, boom. Watch this. We're going to alternate. I like to breathe in, create pressure, and you're just going to go in a straight line. I like to bring it down slowly. Bring it back down, stretch, safely. Go down safely, slowly and surely. All right, let's try this again. I think my microphone's going everywhere. All right, ready? Stretch the hamstrings, curl the hamstrings. Never feel the lower back. I like to rotate in front of me like this, and I like to squeeze the ground in. Boom. That was crappy going on the way down, so don't do that. But we're going to do this for about a minute, or I'm just going to count about 20 reps. So I'm not actually going through the full workout with you. I'm giving you a brief technique overview, and I'm going to show you every movement, and then you're going to go into a circuit with no rest or rest as needed, and I'll give you some filler movements that you can fill in if you feel like you need a rest, but you want to keep that heart rate up. All right, so let's get started. So 20 reps real quick. So 1, 2, and remember, I'm pushing my butt back as I'm going down. I'm always focusing on the hamstrings, number 1. 3, 4. I'm looking up at the weight when I go up. This is a total body movement. The entire posterior chain is getting worked, and the strength capacity is unlimited, as in the potential for how strong you can get. It's amazing movement. Let me shut up and keep working. 4, that's actually 5, 6. Stretching those hamstrings, 7. Stretching is what builds muscle. This type of stretching with the activation. Sit the butt back. Boom. And again, curl the ground, grab the ground with the hamstrings and the feet. You can even use the calves for triple extension like this. Just don't fall back like me. And see how I'm keeping the weight close to my body. Watch this. I'm using my hamstrings to drive that weight all the way up. I'm looking up, I'm pausing for a second. I'm getting as tall as I possibly can. You can squat a little bit more if you want. Just make sure you don't take away from the hamstrings. Remember, you shouldn't feel your lower back, just the hamstrings and the glutes, and maybe even the calves quite a bit too. I'm gonna do 5 more. I lost count because I'm yapping. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's the first movement, dumbbell alternating single arm snatch. All right, so the next movement is going to be an alternating med ball rotation. And we're gonna do this in a half lunge. You're gonna get your med ball down here. And when we're doing a lunge or a half lunge, however low you can go, you're gonna make sure you're doing the same exact cue basically as the snatch, which was in a bilateral stance. Now we're gonna be in a unilateral stance, one leg or split stance. So when you're doing this, you gotta make sure that you're sitting and pushing the butt back. So however low you go, use your own discernment. Just make sure you're sitting that butt back. That's gonna prime the hammy. And what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna hold the ball here. We're gonna rotate, 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 rotate. You can go low if you want, but make sure you're not feeling in the knees going over like that. Not that that's wrong, but for the majority of people, it's gonna be a lot better if you prime the hammies and sit the butt back like that, right? So I'm gonna show you real quick. With any of these movements, you can do 15 to 30 reps and or 1 minute and count how many reps you get within 1 minute and just keep repeating the circuit. You're gonna be out of breath like I am. Trust me, I'm a little bit out of shape right now, but anyways, I'm gonna get started with this way too heavy of a med ball. I don't know why I chose that, but hey, gotta suffer for you guys. So when we get started, we're gonna go for about, 45 seconds or so. I'm gonna try to like 30 reps. Ready? I want my shoulder to be facing forward as I rotate towards my leg. So here, here, boom. You can go low, you can jump, you can go side, play with it. Why did I choose this heavy of a weight? Sorry, couch. Woo! I'm like, take your rest. I'm like, don't take rest. You gotta rest. Oh boy. Anyways, let's do the third movement. Give me a break. More intense than I thought. So now we're gonna do some wall ball play. I got this concept from my good friend Benjamin Aguilar, who is working with me on our course. Again, if you want to learn all the foundation, the framework, the fundamental movement concepts that you need to know to really be able to connect your body on a very deep level, full body integration, maximum nervous system connection, maximum strength, and just being very safe and balanced, and be able to perform like an athlete no matter what level you're at, go ahead, check out our course. But nonetheless, this is something that he got me to really, really love, and that is basically just playing against a wall and or a tree. And so we're gonna do just that. We're gonna go through some various movements. There's really no right or wrong, but just be careful that you know how to maintain trunk and structural integrity so you're not bending your spine in any weird way, because with anything, it can go south very quick, just letting you know. So we got our ball here. What we're gonna start with, let's start with some bilateral steps like this. And we're gonna push into the wall as hard as we can. Activate everything in the body. Right? That's 2 arms, 2 legs. Now let's try 2 arms, 1 leg. Right? Other leg, and now let's try like this. Push, push, push. Let's try this side. And with this, I'm like connecting, I'm pinching the ground, I'm grabbing the ground to get tension and activation. I'm squeezing everything. Now let's try close, sideways a little bit. It's nice to have grippy shoes for this as well. We do this for like 2 minutes. Push. Or 1 minute. I forget how intense that is. Definitely not 2 minutes. All right. So now we're going to do the fourth exercise. Take a break if you need. And that's going to be with the Dopamineo bands. If you have any resistance bands, really anything works. Cable machine works. All right. So the final movement of this circuit, but it's not the final part because you're going to repeat this 2, 3, maybe even 4 to 5 times. Depends how much of a workout you want and what level you are at. You're going to get your bands or cable machine or whatever, resistance bands, whatever works. And what we're going to be doing is getting down into a squat. And what we're going to do is rotate like this. You can even move. Get low. You get stationary if you want. I'm still out of breath from the last movement, my gosh. You combine this workout with your walks after each meal, 10-minute walks after each meal, or 10 to 15 minutes. You can even do stick flow after each meal. You're gonna be losing fat. If you got your diet in check, you're tracking calories, go watch that fat loss video if you need more details, but this is definitely gonna help a lot. Oh my gosh, I'm done. I work out enough, I'm tired. So that's the workout. We just did our dumbbell alternating single arm snatch. You can rest a little bit as needed. You can even fill in your rest with some active rests like stationary punches, shoe shine. You can do alternating teeps, right? Just to keep moving. And then we did the alternating med ball rotations. Then we did the wall ball play. And then we did the squatting alternating rows with the movement. All right, so if you got any questions, if this isn't clear enough, I can always just do this video again, make it better. I'm just gonna try to be filming way more often. And feel free to, what? Don't hesitate to contact us. Support@magnesium.com. I'll see you next time. Peace.